The story begins in the land of Israel as we look into the life of David. David was a shepherd boy, and although he was the youngest of 4 sons in his family, he was chosen by God to be the next king of Israel. But David had to wait a very long time until that promise would come true. And in the meantime, he was watching over his sheep and goats. He had to be patient because at that time there was another king on the throne of Israel. His name was Saul. Saul was strong and tall and looked like everything a king should be. But God doesn't look at our outward appearance. Instead, he focuses on our hearts. And ultimately, Saul was disobedient and did not follow God like he was supposed to. And for that reason, God chose to take the kingdom from his family and give it to David. After some time, David was sent to Saul to serve him. Saul loved him so much, and David was appointed his armor bearer. David became a great warrior, and after defeating Goliath the giant, Saul named him the commander of his armies, and David became successful in everything he did. Everyone in the kingdom loved David, but this started to make Saul jealous and angry at David because he was afraid of him and thought he would try to kill him and take the throne away from his family. So Saul wanted to kill David, but the Lord was with David and he kept him safe. David fled and escaped to multiple places after he was warned about King Saul's intentions. Saul kept trying to find ways to get rid of David, and he hunted him, but Saul wasn't able to catch him. Day after day, Saul searched for him, but God did not give David into his hands. Moving from place to place, about 600 men started following David wherever he went. One day, Saul was told that David was in the desert of En-Gedi. So Saul chose 3,000 elite soldiers, the best he could find in all Israel, and set out in search of David near the region of the Wild Goat Rocks. During Saul's search for David, he went into the cave to take a break. Well, this very cave was the one where David and his men were hiding. And when David's men saw that Saul was unaware that David was there and unable to defend himself, they whispered, "Now's your opportunity. Today the Lord is telling you, I will certainly put your enemy into your power to do with as you wish." So David crept forward and cut off a piece of Saul's robe. Immediately he felt guilty, and David began to think that it was not right for him to harm Saul's life, even after all the trouble and all the hardship he has caused him. It was so easy for David to put an end to all of this, but he realized that no matter what Saul has done, it was still not right for him to hurt the one who God had chosen as king over Israel. So David ordered his men to step away, and he did not let them harm King Saul. Saul got up, left the cave, and went down to the road. David came out and shouted after Saul, "My lord, the king!" When Saul looked behind him, he saw that David bowed down with his face to the ground. "Why do you listen to the people who say I'm trying to harm you? This very day, you can see with your own eyes this isn't true. Some of my men told me to kill you, but I spared you. I cut off a piece of your robe, but I didn't kill you. This proves that I am not trying to harm you and that I have not sinned against you, even though you've been hunting for me to kill me." Then David went on to promise that he would never harm Saul. David said that God would be the one to protect David and to rescue him from Saul's power. Saul said, "Is that really you, my son David?" And he began to cry. And he said to David, "You are a better man than I am, for you have repaid me good for evil. Yes, you have been amazingly kind to me. For when the Lord put me in a place where you could have killed me, you didn't do it. Who else would let his enemies get away when he had him in his power? May the Lord reward you for the kindness you have shown me today. And now I realize that you are surely going to be king, and that the kingdom of Israel will flourish under your rule. Now swear to me by the Lord that when that happens, you will not kill my family." So David promised that he would not hurt Saul's family, and they left each other in peace. Now Saul continued to cause difficulty in David's life, but David kept his promise, and in time, David did become king of Israel. David was dearly loved by God, and Israel did flourish under his rule, because David did everything that God wanted him to do, and he was a man after God's own heart.